everybody, and welcome to another episode of Dreams Unveiled. I think we're on episode 34. Pretty sure we are, actually.
Nice, we're getting there.
So that's really something. Thank you for joining us this morning. And I'll tell you, I don't know how much of all my papers and everything you can see, but this is a very long dream that we have today.
Yes.
And it's amazing to me how much she got out of it. It terrified her. It's absolutely crazy. So with no further ado, we're not going to talk about the weather. It's fall. We're over summer.
Yeah.
Getting there, grieving a little still.
Yeah, it is kind of nice though.
It is nice outside.
My moped ride here was beautiful.
I know. It really truly is. But this one I definitely am going to need notes for because it was so much. So our dreamer today, we should always identify the dreamer.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, in case you're just tuning into this one, I'm Daun Whittaker. This is my co-host, Melissa Salazar.
Hi.
So, yeah, I forgot to introduce us. I feel terrible.
Yeah,
It's kind
okay.
of silly.
Yeah, we're the hosts. I feel like you might know after 34. So
You're
by
right.
now you should know who we are.
The other thing I do want to say is we're having a few technical difficulties, so we're really hoping that we are heard and heard well. Our dreamer today is named Missy, and Missy had a terrified dream, and I'm just going to read it to you, and then I'm probably going to, because it's so long, I'll read some of it, and then we'll talk about different sections of it, because it's just so much.
Yeah.
There is so much in this dream. And so Missy lives in northern New York, and she is married. All of her kids are all grown. Some of them, I know she has grandchildren that live in the Carolinas, and she tries to visit them frequently. She's really struggling, I think, where she lives because just a lot of anxiety and things like that. And when she goes in and visits her kids down south, she has this great peace and stuff and is away from the elements, which are family members that are really bringing great duress to her.
Yeah.
So it's really tough. I think when she was young, she had a lot of trauma. Well, we talked about it. She had a lot of trauma. And so, so when your extended family is really just kind of pounding on you and giving you duress and family, let's face it, you can't pick your family,
That's
right?
True,
I mean, that's just
true.
the way it is. As we're
true.
coming up on Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So she's really having a hard time with this, but she leaves and really enjoys it and would rather be down there because she's away from
The stressors.
all of it.
Yeah.
So this is just what led up to this dream. The big problem is her husband, Jack. He doesn't want to move. He loves where he lives. He really enjoys the outdoors, very outdoorsy person, and their home and everywhere around them is very outdoorsy, inviting. And for those of you that are not familiar with New York, most of New York is not New York City.
Yeah, no. I go camping all the time. I feel like I'm officially a New Yorker. I have like my own camp now.
I know, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I made it. I've made it as a New Yorker.
When I came up here, I thought I was coming to New York City. I had no idea there was rural New York, and it's a big chunk of New York. I didn't have any clue. I had culture shock with that.
Yeah. I mean, I did look it up, but I wasn't expecting it to really be our little city.
So you were able to.
Though.
When I came up here, there was no way to look it up unless I picked up an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I mean, but I do like it here. I think it's pretty.
All right. Well, anyway, yes. Back to. We digress.
Yes. Back to the dream.
So I'm going to read the dream, and I just wanted to share that because you need the context to follow this dream.
Yeah.
For sure. And you can tell me because you didn't have that context. So when we're done, you can let me know if that's enough context so I know if I need to give the audience more information.
You got it.
All right. Missy said, I woke up terrified. Jack and I were going back to college to finish a couple classes. I said, okay. He picked the school. We went. The first thing was getting our room. It was a tall tower building. They said every floor was a theme. Jack got his room, and I was next in line. praying I would be in a room close. I was given the room next to his. Didn't look at the room, but just the common area, which was this area with tight curves, crannies like a child's play place with climbing and slides, all plastic, mostly blue, decorated like the Lion King. So this is a college experience here.
Yeah.
We met a few people. This one girl said she was going to the dining hall, and did we want to go with her? So we did. You had to drive to the dining hall from the tower of dorms, okay? In the dream. We got to the top of this huge long road. It was very barren, no trees, nothing around it, just a dirt road shaped like a big U, like a roller coaster, all in for that. Somehow you had to drive there. We got to the top of this huge long road. It was very barren, no trees, nothing around it, just a dirt road and shaped like a big U, like a roller coaster. Somehow had clear water at the bottom that you had to drive through. So here's the instructions on how this had to be done. What you had to do was stop at the top of the road. So you're at the top of this huge hill, everybody. When we stopped, I was scared and said, "Dear God." Then she drove really fast down into the road. We went through the water. Then the car went straight up to this other enormous tower, standing straight up. Then it was like a slow motion thing where you were above this massive dining hall, bigger than the housing tower. It was like this massive roller coaster type thing, but it was a road and you had to drive. So this mechanism somehow got us into the building, to the top of the tower. We went into the dining hall. They had to give us badge, photo IDs. Everyone there got theirs, but what they did was take a picture and then got a similar AI generated photo that looked like the picture. I did mine and it generated 3 really ugly faces, and I remember thinking they were characters from movies, and I was like, I'm not picking one of those. They're all ugly, and that's what the AI thought I was, ugly. So we went up and got the trays of food. I was upset about the whole method of getting there, so I didn't eat. We left. And to leave now, we're over here. This is the other part. You had to go straight down.
Ugh.
Because a mechanism brought you there, so you're literally going straight down. I would really appreciate and enjoy this, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you would. My stomach cringes.
So you're at the top of the tower, straight down, and then you cross over the U and go to the dorm. And that is where the dream ended.
Imagine if you didn't have a car.
Now, this was terrifying to her.
Yeah.
So, she woke up really afraid. And there's so much to this dream. So now you have a little background. So we're going to start going through, and I have to do this in pieces because there's just so much
to it. Yeah.
So I hope this is understandable. Melissa will let me know if it's not.
I'll ask questions.
So, all right. So we're going to go through this piece by piece.
Yes.
So let's start with the fact that the couple is going to college. And college, this is I think the third dream before that we've had college or dormitories or things like that. And that was hilarious. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, I wish the camera was that way. That would have been so funny.
My cat just did a straight up jump because she
didn't realize the paper was there. I think that's what it was. She touched it and went whoop, off the ground and then right back on the ground.
Just trust us. It was as funny as we're making it seem to be. So college and the other 2 things that we talked about were really stages of life or growth, development, change.
Yeah.
But, there are some other ways to look at college. And part of it is college is a time where, it's really a time where you need to get good grades, you need to be on your best behavior, you need to do all this. So I think for her, a proper interpretation of college with the information that she's given is feeling she really has to prove herself. And she's really, really struggling. And some of that may be that Jack wants to stay in upstate New York and she does not. So that may be part of that, but it's just proving thing. Because one of the things, if you notice through the dream, when I read it, and you'll catch it now probably when we go through, is that Jack had no trouble getting his room. Jack had no problem at the dining hall. Everything on this journey, Jack was just
fine, right?
It was great. He was okay with it. And she was the one having all of the struggles, it wasn't the couple having the struggles, and it wasn't
just
him.
her, right?
So I think part of this is she is trying to avoid the anxiety of living here and the interactions and the people and how they're triggering past trauma, and that's an experience she doesn't have when she's there. So here's the only problem. Avoidance is the primary coping strategy for anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And so just escaping it may feel great, but it's not healing her.
Right. It's still there. The problem's still there, you know.
It's like having a massive headache and just taking ibuprofen every single day and living your life.
Right, and never drinking water.
So it really is like that. And so we want healing. So hopefully Missy's listening to this and really understands that. But we talked at length about it, and I shared everything that I saw. I knew as soon as I got to the end that this really was about that crossroads. So I think what happens is every time she has any extended family interaction and her trauma is triggered, she wants to leave.
Right. Sometimes people feel like it's easier leaving.
It is easier leaving.
Right.
But it's not the best choice.
Right.
If you are trying to heal and not let anxiety have power over you. And the ultimate reality is she may have a great time when she's with her grandkids and her kids, but that anxiety is what is having power over her. Her decisions are being made by that anxiety.
Yeah.
And that needs to change. It should change. And reality is she could probably move down there, even though obviously the couple's not united in that decision, but she could stay down there predominantly and be away from it and be okay. But then even coming up here would be awful for her.
Right.
It would be far worse. Coming in contact with any of these relatives would be horrifying to her.
Yeah.
Because she has avoided so much. That's how avoidance grows anxiety. So I just really want to share that because that's the basis for this. So I really do think that proving that the college is for her just having all this anxiety about proving herself, and I think she feels she really needs to.
Yeah.
She feels she has to defend herself. She feels she has to avoid people. She all the time, and she's feeling this now stress of her husband wanting one thing and her wanting another.
It must be hard.
So I feel genuinely, I feel bad for her because it's I wouldn't want to be in that position.
No.
So I think that's really a big thing. So now let's talk about, so they make a decision to go to college, and that's what I think it is. Although I will say it probably is related to that she's ready to go on for a new phase of her life,
right.
This big change, right? She's ready. And college really is kind of like development, growth, all of that kind of thing.
Right, so, you can kind of start off kind of new, as a new person almost,
right.
With college. You can become anyone you want,
But it is. It's liberating, right?
Right.
A lot of times you're away from your parents and you're out on your own for the first time and in that kind of a place. So that's absolutely very relevant information. So let's talk about the tower, okay? And I'll read a little bit just for context because I think we could really get lost in this. We went, the first thing was getting our room. It was a tall tower building. They said every floor had a theme. And then Jack, of course, got his room without any problem. And she did. And I love this because she's a woman of faith. And she prayed that she would get a room close, and she did get the room next to him.
Yeah, okay? Which shows like good companionship,
Oh yeah,
she
absolutely.
loves him. She wants to be near him.
And that she recognizes that God answers her prayers.
Yeah.
So in a dream that's a pretty awesome thing. She didn't even go in the dorm room. She made it to the common areas. Yeah. And the common areas had a Lion King theme. And let's real quick talk about a Lion King theme. what does a lion mean in a dream? A lion can mean power. A lion can mean leadership. It has some serious spiritual. It could mean spiritual power.
Mm-hmm.
But keep in mind, the Lion King movie is a cartoon.
So like nostalgia,
It could be that, and you're right. But I actually think that with the cartoon, I think there's a little theme in here that you're thinking. Keep in mind, she's got this whole kid thing going on.
Yeah.
I think part of this theme is she's having a battle. Okay, kid theme, cartoon,
Yeah.
college, common areas of her dorm area. She's probably in a suite.
Right.
The
structure of it is like a play place.
Yes, I mean a lot of the color blue. There's nooks and crannies and all kinds of slide. There's a slide in there. It's like literally a play place, and I think what that is a battle in her, and this now will make so much sense between serious growth and change and development and being childlike and not having all the responsibility and bearing all of these responsibilities and really just being carefree.
Right.
And so that really is the gist emotionally of the dream.
Of what she kind of wants too. I feel like she does want to be on that like carefree child side, but she knows as an adult you have to do some things you don't want to do.
But she's done. I think emotionally she's pretty tapped. And so I think this dream is like, yes, I want to get to that place of being carefree and just living. That's with her grandchildren.
Yeah.
And all the serious and living this the way she is now, that is just the nature of the common areas in the dorm room and that. So once again it's showing that dichotomy and that inner
battle
that she's having.
Yeah.
So that's pretty significant. By the way, the color blue, I want to talk about that. The blue in this, and I had to ask her about it. So there's two blues represented in this dream.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully I won't forget to go over where the second blue is, but this blue is pretty much kind of like a bright, lighter blue, and the other one is a real dark blue, which is another thing that I think is pretty amazing. So the blue in the room represents kind of like peace, a serenity.
Yeah.
Carefree. The darker one, which is later on in the dream, symbolizes depression and unhappiness, right? So this is...
It's just like, right, so black and white right now.
So I think this is really a journey through her life.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about one other thing. It's a tower.
Right, so obstacles, right?
Well, and there's obstacles, difficulties, challenges. But here's the thing that I read is that in the tower, each floor had its own theme.
Right.
Which sounds to me like it's her assessing, going through, looking at the stages of her life.
Right.
Going up, right? And I believe she's probably at a higher place in the tower because each phase represents a time in her life.
Right, and so like now it's like the Lion King phase, so like this is like her grandchildren. She probably wants to be close with them, have that normal like, grandmother, grandchild relationship, like being in the same state.
Yeah, I absolutely think that's very true. And I also think that because it's so split, that it's also a crossroads for her because she can't be there right now as often as she'd like to be.
Yeah.
And she, and this is going to sound terrible, it may not be necessarily in her best interest to be, like I said, spending that time. So it may actually being allowed to do that in avoidance as opposed to just really being there may make her anxiety worse. It will make her anxiety worse.
Right, because when she gets back, it's all there. Instead of like dealing with it and maybe making some boundaries.
Yeah, if there's trauma, I understand how like extended family and so forth can really trigger that, especially if there was part of the trauma included them, even if they were not perpetrators. It doesn't matter. It's just a connection. But it doesn't mean that she's not going to go down there and there's a transference and that there will be new triggers in this new place, and it may not be quite so lovely to her, you know. So anxiety, that's why I call anxiety mind cancer. It just grows and grows. So where are we now? Oh, they met some people, which is great. I think that's really an important thing. So I think that is, you know, where they are now. They have really good friends. They have people, and one of the women there says, "Hey, are you guys hungry? Let's go to the dining hall, right?" And so they all get in her car because you have to drive to the dining hall. Driving suggests moving forward. Okay, and that's really an important thing. The dining or the driving is a really, if you see it in a dream, really means you're moving towards something. If you're moving.
Yeah.
So, but in her case, she's moving towards something because they are ultimately, there is their goal is to do that. They're just not ready. But she's moving towards something, but there is some serious obstacles to getting there. Serious.
Yes. And obviously I feel like she is, maybe she's like afraid of heights.
I don't think she is.
No? Okay.
No. Yeah, I don't think she is.
So just scary and nervousness of like...
Do you need to be afraid of heights to be in a car when someone else is driving? This is really the big deal. It's someone else is driving. And you're just looking down like this in
terrified.
The car. Right?
Yeah, I've been to San Francisco and they have like pretty big hills and it's scary. It's scary.
So, and think about this. She doesn't know the person they're driving. They just met.
Right.
So all of that is very relevant. You know, when you're not the driver, you're not in control. You are not the one establishing the direction for your life, which is where she feels she is right now.
Yeah.
So I think that's really a big deal, and it really means that she is feeling that somebody else is in control of her journey, which is kind of true because she's yielding to her husband's wishes.
Yeah.
So, you know, and not only that, but that means the people that are triggering her trauma, like I said, they may not be doing anything wrong. It could be that they were around at the time she experienced the trauma, but they also have power over her. That all has power. Every time she's going to a holiday or occasion or an event with family, or she's in close proximity with them.
Yeah.
You know, rural New York, so a bunch of small towns, not hard to
run into somebody.
That's right. So I think that whole drive is all about her recognizing that she's not in the driver's seat.
Right.
She's along for the ride, and which is giving her even greater anxiety because she has absolutely no control other than taking these breaks and going to where she needs to go. I think the dining hall in the dream actually represents kind of the place that she is trying to get to. Okay?
Yeah.
So that maybe that, it might.
And, you know, she's kind of having to like...
Yeah, and I'm going to say, it could represent, you know, going to, you know, living over there with the grandkids and her children. So it could represent that.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure on that, but I'll think about it because I think that's a possibility. But in any case, it is where it's the destination in the dream.
Where they're going, yeah. So
now let's talk about the road. The road's described in there as being barren. There's no trees. There's nothing. It's just this now keep in mind, this is a U, right? And you're starting here at the tower, and you've got to go down. But the road is just dirt. It's empty. And it really, to me, symbolizes that she's in this very kind of barren place, empty, void of any kind of continuity, or there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of fear.
Yeah.
There's nothing to make a decision with. There's just nothing there for her. The path may not be clearly defined. So she's heading down this, and going down, but the path is not clearly defined. It's just empty. It could be
anywhere,
a road anywhere.
Yeah.
So I think that has a lot. That's a big deal. And then now we're going to go to the roller coaster shape, and there's water at the bottom. And just so we've talked about many times, water represents emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Now keep in mind, this water's at like the lowest point of everything, right?
Yeah.
So what kind of
That's so
emotions?
sad.
I know. So the roller coaster, the U actually represents, your ups and downs, that this really is a roller coaster
Right.
that she's going through. But at that bottom, it's real emotional turmoil that's not just, it's all of it.
Right.
And it's not just all bad. It's just chaotic. It's just that there's uncertain, and it's just such a mix of everything. That's what the roller coaster represents, right?
Yeah.
Leaving the dorm room, you're going down. Getting to the dining hall or the final destination, you're going up.
Right.
So I think that's really an important thing. And you have to go through this turbulence of emotions
Before
to
you can get there.
Yep. So that is the you. Oh, I just love
I can't wait.
Dreams.
I
It's
can't
so
wait.
amazing.
Can't wait till she sees this and she's gonna be like.
I did talk to her about some
I'm
of
excited
it,
to hear the aftermath. What she's gonna be doing after. Or her thoughts on this after.
We should actually ask people. Please send us any results that came out of.
Right.
Good. That's a good
Right.
thought. We
That's
should
right.
do
Just
that.
like an aftermath. I
Yeah.
want to know what.
We could have a whole series on.
Right. That'd be great.
Yeah. That really is a good idea. Okay, that's a good idea. So now we're in the tower. The tower. All right. When she got to the top of the tower,
Dining hall.
and that was a scary ride too.
Mm-hmm.
But all of this is, I think, especially as you get older, we kind of are a little more preservation motivated, and it is scary, right? So change can be scary.
Yeah,
And-
unknowing, I feel like that's super scary.
And I love change.
I personally love changing. I love moving.
But
I
I'm
love
going to tell
moving.
you, I love change much more when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we change as we get older. And we really require some routine and structure and less change. But I love change. I love adventure.
Yeah.
And some of it's not good, but I still love it. So
I'm just here for the ride.
so she's at the top of this hill, and she's really scared. Let me find my place in here. So now she's going up the hill. Now they're going in slow motion up the hill. Think about how relevant that is. That's probably what it feels like trying to get to where she's going with her grandkids to really live there. Because it's years away for her.
Right.
And so that's probably how it feels. So she finally arrives at the dining hall, which is towards the top of this huge tower. This
Even
tower
bigger than the
is
other one.
much bigger than the other tower. So that may mean that tower, this is the prize. This is where you really are trying to get to.
Yeah.
Which would make sense.
Yeah.
But there's so much there that's causing anxiety.
Right, because it's all new, as just,
And any kind of move like that is going to be to create that. So this mechanism somehow got us into the building at the top of the tower. So I actually didn't really look that up, but the idea that a mechanism, after she got to the top, actually lifted the car up and brought them in. And she's not even really clear on that.
Yeah.
But it really means that she got in there, but it really exemplifies she has no control over what's going on.
Right, it just happened.
She's along for the ride. We went into the dining hall. They had to give us badge, key, photo IDs. I think it was just, I think it's I don't know if they had a separate key. Maybe they did. Everyone there got theirs. But what they did was take a picture and then got a similar AI-generated photo. So this is really interesting. So she's watching everybody get their IDs. So AI in dreams is something pretty unheard of in the past, that AI is in dreams. So think about this. AI in dreams, AI is detached, it's highly intelligent, right? So, it's kind of cold, there's no emotions to it at this point. So it is just something making decisions, and the decision was that we're not going to use your photo.
Right. We're going to use AI photo.
We're going to use AI photo. The idea of, taking a photo in a dream can either mean being scrutinized, feeling scrutinized, or really needing attention. And for this, I do think she's feeling scrutinized. Mm-hmm. She has talked to people about really wanting to move, not wanting to be there. She's probably not talking to people as significant, about the degree of the anxiety that she's having.
Right.
Or she wouldn't probably be having these dreams if that was all fully out there. But I know she does have a natural support network.
And the photos are not attractive photos. She said they're 3 ugly photos.
That's right. So for some reason she got 3 photos and not 1. And I actually did not really look into that too much. But I suppose it could mean something. So let's talk about the ID. So we know that AI did it, but here's the thing. I remember when AI matched it to movie characters, there were 3 ugly faces. Okay?
That she got, yeah.
That she got. And very likely that those may have represented different parts of her. Keep in mind, photograph or taking a photo is the idea of being scrutinized in this situation. It's really, really being looked at carefully, being assessed, evaluated and the AI part is being evaluated and assessed by people without feelings, by people that are cold and not considering her. Okay,
right. So they're just throwing it out there.
That's right. So she's being put under in her mind, being put under a magnifying glass in her mind by her family, and I'm going to tell you, and probably by herself.
Yeah.
So mostly, I would say by herself. She really thinks of it.
Yeah.
Having 3 images may mean there are 3 particular aspects of her that she is recognizing. One being the severe anxiety is probably one, but it may be even 3 ways that the anxiety is manifesting in her into monsters, right? I mean, think about what is anxiety. So I really think that has to do with that. They get in the dining room thinking, really, this is where
she wants to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Except the process of getting there was so difficult and so upsetting, she now can't eat. So let's think of a dining hall. A dining hall is a place of community, right?
Nourishment.
It's a happy place. That's right. Nourishment, sustenance, all the things that you need. There's your companions are there. Everybody's gathering together.
Yeah.
They're pretty joy and happy place, and she's there, and she cannot partake because it was too difficult.
Right.
And I think that may be speaking to healing has to come before this journey.
Yeah.
And I really do think, and that's really what the dream, that really what the dream really represents. There's a theme in the dream that she's really being judged, but I think she's judging herself.
Yep, I see it too.
And I do believe that with the pictures. I think the monsters that she's looking at in those IDs are her seeing her own insecurity and being so afraid because they're in the form of ID pictures that everybody now can see them. Mm-hmm. And I think that really is such a big thing. So now she can't eat. And then the dream at this point goes pretty quickly because they leave. And keep in mind, Jack's eating and just participating and partaking.
Yeah.
And they leave and they have to go back. And so the dream ends where she's at the top of this hill looking straight down because it's a straight down shot. It's not like a road that goes like this. It's straight down. In other words, that the road back is even harder, right?
Right. I feel like that gulp feeling.
I know.
Like, gulp. You look down and you're like, whew.
And that comes with when you're trying to do this without the healing.
Right. Because you're still going to have to feel it, but way worse.
That's right. It's way worse. And that's what it is. She's looking down because she's going back to where she does not want to be.
Yeah, I'm super excited to hear from her and see how, things are going after this. I feel like that's going to be so exciting.
I know. We'll have to hear back.
Yeah.
From Missy. Missy, we're going to need feedback on this.
Yeah, we need to know.
So here's the thing. I knew about the dark blue in the dream.
Yeah.
Because Missy told me when I was interviewing her, but I don't remember what she said it was. It may have been the car.
Okay.
Which would make a lot of sense because there's going to be sadness in the ride going to the place, the end place which run to be, and fear in going back altogether. So, and it talked about really being very sad, very depressed. It's a desperate. The dark blue is really a desperate color. So,
yeah,
I feel like I should say something funny now because this is a heavy dream. But this is the kind of dream that leads to healing if somebody is seeking it. This can open so many doors and reveal so many truths that somebody is not seeing fully in their waking life. Or in Missy's case, she knows it all, but I don't think she understands how her past complex trauma is still interfering with her life. And this is a grandmother. At this point. Right. And it truly is. It is having profound. She understands some of it, but I don't think she understands all of it.
Yeah, and I feel like it's, eating at her during the day and in her sleep.
So, clearly.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like something needs to happen. Maybe this might be a little rock and roll for her. I think I will call her and I think something will happen. One thing I will say for her, she's definitely driven. She's very good at really knowing what needs to be done and going after it and taking control. She truly is. Maybe on this issue, and this is a big issue, any of us would have some of these feelings in the same situation, at least. Maybe more. But, our brain's so good, and her brain's telling her it's time to heal. Right.
And this dream is really part of that because she's hitting a crossroads. I have to either wait with Jack. I'm not going to leave Jack.
Right.
But
I don't think
really
that's anything in the question.
No,
I think that she really loves him. So.
Yeah, and they have a pretty solid marriage. So, from my understanding, talking to her because she was actually laughing at some of the parts, how easy it was for him to go through this journey. And
sometimes with guys, it is just so easy,
awful.
Or maybe they just don't show it as much. They have different ways of showing things.
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
That's what counts for me, both.
Yeah.
So, well, we want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of Dreams Unveiled. And we're getting a lot of dreams, which is wonderful. I know people are watching the dreams that are giving them to me and saying, wow, okay, they're getting, it's working. So this modality is definitely working. But I need dreams all the time. So please feel free to share dreams with us. You can email them to daun@daunw.com. Daun@daunw.com. Daun with a U, not a W. And even though I'm saying that over and over, it's because people just automatically write W, even if they know it's a U. And you can email me a dream. Make sure, please, you put what's going on in your life at the time. Can you imagine reading this dream and not knowing what was going on in her life?
Right.
This would make no sense whatsoever. So we need to know what's going on, how you're feeling, how you felt in the dream. That's a really important thing. How did you feel in the dream?
Yeah.
And then if you're in a nightmare but you're not afraid and you feel okay about things, that actually is saying something very different than if you are
in a nightmare. Yeah.
So notice that she woke up afraid, but too because of all the fear that she was going through in this process. And I imagine in real life it's scary to even think about, all of this and leaving so much undone up here, or not all the loose ends not tied up with family members and all of that. And like I said, it's not really even family members.
Yeah.
They just happen to be there at the time. So with all of that said,
like and subscribe.
That's right. Send us your dreams. Have a great day and sweet dreams.
See ya.
Bye.